Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to use a bow vise. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, I know how to use a bow vise. All I do is put my bow in it, clamp it down, and I'll work on my bow. Well, for the average bow vise, this is true. But when you're using a bow vise, such as bowtuningtips.com uses, and this is a RS bow vise, you have much more adjustability than you would imagine that you can get on any of these other bow vises that are out there. I'm going to show you today the features of the vise, and I'm also going to show you how, in correlation with the levels, it can become as vital a part of the tuning process as the levels are themselves. So let's get right into it. RS Archery Products makes two bow vises. They make a standard limb vise and they make a parallel limb vise. The only difference between the two is the parallel limb vise leveling block has a 15-degree angle cut so that it allows for the parallel limb bows to be easily adjusted and you can get it leveled easier. That's the only difference. Other than that, they both work exactly the same. All right, let's talk about the parts of the vise. All right, at the top you're going to see the red handle, and it actuates a lever here with a small shoe that looks like a brake pad on a bicycle to you. You know, that's exactly what it looks like. And it actually comes down and pushes against the limb and clamps it against the pad here. Now, this is fully adjustable for the different thicknesses of bow limbs. You know, for the bow guy who's working on his stuff at his house, you know, you probably will never have to adjust this because you're going to be working on your same bow all the time, and you're never going to have a thicker or thinner bow limb. But for the shop out there, if you have one of these, having this adjustment is essential because you can get a real nice, snug, tight lockdown, and the bow's not going to move anywhere. At the front, you're going to notice there's a knob. Well, if you loosen that knob, you're going to see that it allows the entire block that the bow's cradled in to pivot left and right. That's become something very crucial in bow tuning nowadays, especially with the guys who use levels on their sights. On the sides, you're going to see another nut. Now, this nut is not necessarily for adjustment because it has no moving features. It's more of a lockdown feature. This is when you get the bow vise tilted in the direction you want it tilted in. You simply lock that down, and it's going to hold the bow there securely, and it's not going to move. Okay, now down on the bottom, you're going to see another knob that actually pushes up on the bottom of the vise. Well, what this is for, this is actually to get your bow perpendicular in the vise. This is going to set you up so you can get your string of the bow level. Now, that's the basic run through of the vise. We're going to grab my bow, we're going to slap it in here, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how easy it is to use the bow vise with the levels and the advantages that you have by having all the micro attune adjustments that this has. Now, if you have a limb pocket on your bow, you want to be sure that the limb pocket is outside of the cradle here at the front, and you're not going to be setting up on it at an angle because sometimes that can cause your bow to wobble a little bit. This bow doesn't have a limb pocket. We're just going to put it on there like that, and we're going to make sure we got a nice center on our clamp here, and we're going to lock it down. And you hear that popping sound? That means you got a good secure lockdown. The bow is going to be sitting there nice and sturdy, and it's not going to move. Okay, now, I was telling you about the levels. I use the bow levels. You guys have seen me use these levels on a lot of my rest installation videos, and the reason is because you can get a precise level point, especially with the string level, in two different directions. This level will actually let you get the bow straight up and down level, and it'll actually help you set the axis level because it has that level at the back. What I like to do is I like to go ahead and get my adjustment of the string level first, and then I'll set my axis, and I'll go back to my string level and kind of tweak it in if it needs it. To adjust the string level, all you have to do is start turning this knob down here on the bottom, and as you see, the bow's starting to tilt forward, and the bubble's starting to fall right in between the lines. And right there I have it. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to lock that bow down on the side nuts right here, and tighten it down so that there's no chance of it moving. I'm going to jump around here, and I'm going to look, and that axis leveling point looks pretty good. It's not exactly perfect, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and loosen the front knob up, and I'm going to go ahead and get that right there where I want it to be perfect, just like so, and I'll lock it down. All right. Okay, now that I've got that locked down, it's real simple. I can look at the level that's on the string, and I can look at the level that's on my sight, and I can see that they're just about exactly perfect between the lines. We're going to check the arrow for level or 90 degrees. In this case, you can either use the 90-degree bow level which will tell you where it's perfectly 90 degrees, or you can use my personal favorite, which is the Varinock level. It has increments from 0 up to a 1/2 inch using 1/8 inch increments. What you do to put it on is you make sure the 0 is facing away from the bow. You clamp it on about 3 inches in front of the riser. Then, in a drop-away arrow rest case, you just lift your arrow rest all the way up as far as it'll go. Make sure your bubble level hasn't moved from you pulling on the bow, and then check the level, and you can see this level set perfectly at 0, and so it's tuned perfect at a 90-degree angle. Now, this is a great starting point for you guys out there who are getting ready to go fine-tune your bow, or setting up a new bow, putting on a new rest, adjusting your D-loop, or even putting on a new D-loop. This is a key factor in having the adjustability of this vise using these levels. Well, there you have it. That's why the RS Bow Vise is the official bow vise of bowtuningtips.com. It's adjustable, it's top quality made, and it's very versatile. If you guys are interested in finding out where you can get your hands on one of these bow vices, be sure to check out RS Archery products at rsbowvise.com, or the vices and the levels are available on the bowtuningtips.com online store. I'm Kenny Parson with bowtuningtips.com, here for RS Archery products. Until next week, you guys be sure to stay tuned.